Support for How in the Hell Did I Get Here comes from the Coloring Book Coach. Did you know it's possible to heal your heart and more through coloring and the support of the Coloring Book Coach? Visit thecoloringbookcoach.com for your free coloring book. Hey, this is Kim, and before we get going on this week's episode, which is hilarious by the way, I just want to stop and say that here we are already at episode 13, and doing this podcast is blowing my mind. We've received so much feedback on how listening to our goofy and crazy stories feels like sitting with your favorite family members around a kitchen table, a fire pit, or a front porch and listening to the best family stories. That feedback blows me away and makes me really happy. Ultimately, we're all family here, and we're so happy to have you all now as part of ours. When I was a little girl, I basically wanted to be Lucille Ball when I grew up. It was all about making people laugh and making people feel better. Now, every week as I edit this podcast and listen to all the laughter, I feel like I made it to where I was trying to get to all those years ago. You're laughing and I'm laughing. How much better can it get? So, thank you so much. And if you can take a moment and subscribe wherever you listen and share the show with a friend. They say laughter's the best medicine, and I think we can all use a little more laughter, right? And if you do share and or review, you can also win your very own How in the Hell Did I Get Here mug. The details are at howinthehellpodcast.com. So, we were raised in Minnesota, and anyone who lives in Minnesota knows that one of the most common vacation destinations during the summer months is, quote unquote, up north. Up north means literally anywhere north of where you are, and also the northern half of the state. Minnesota also lives up to its slogan of the land of 10,000 lakes. In reality, there are 11,842 lakes bigger than 10 acres each. But who's counting, besides the DNR? Anyway, it's a gorgeous state, literally peppered with thousands and thousands of lakes. And the thing to do there when the weather is nice is to head up north to one of those lakes, which is what Kari and her friends do. Head north to an area filled with lakes and the small towns and people who depend on those lakes and their visitors for their livelihoods. In today's story, Kari gives you a glimpse into what it means to head up north to the lakes of Minnesota and the kinds of adventures you might have in the show we're calling Welcome to Lake Vermillion, or How in the Hell Did I End Up Here on Vacation? This is Kim A. Floden, and welcome to How in the Hell Did I Get Here? Quick note, today's episode includes swear words.
This would have been in the early 90s. Me and my best friend Janet, her sister Lori, and my other best friend Michael decided to do a long weekend up at Lake Vermillion, and it just turned into fucking weirdness from beginning to end.
Some trips are like that, I'm telling you.
We get there, we check in, we're staying on the lake at some little resort, right? So we're in a cabin. Well, of course, you got to get into town. The next morning, bright and early, we're getting into town. And of course, the first thing you got to do is get your liquor. So the liquor store and the bar are the same place. We go to the bar and we figure, it's 11 o'clock. We're good. Let's have a drink. And it doesn't feel so weird because we're definitely not the only ones having a drink at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. There's a bunch of old timers in there. There's a whole row of them at the bar. And we sit down at the bar and we all get a drinky poo and, just kind of hanging. And we're next to these old timers in their, feed cap. Small town America. And there's a middle-aged lady is tending the bar. We listen to the old timers. One of them turns to the other one and goes, "Are you going to Dick's funeral this afternoon?" And the one says to him, "That son of a bitch, could never stand him when he was alive. Why the hell would I go to his funeral?"
Okay, then.
They turn to another one, and they're like, "Jode, are you going to the funeral?" Because I couldn't stand that prick either. I ain't going to the goddamn funeral.
Oh, my God.
And we're listening to this going, oh, my God, And another one goes, "Son of a bitch, never had a good word to say about anybody. I ain't going to his goddamn funeral. I'm glad he's dead." And they're just being, it's just horrible. Another one goes, "Yeah, he was a cocksucker all his entire life." Nobody in town's going to his funeral. I don't know why we're even talking about him. He doesn't deserve the time of day. And we're just, we're like young. We're in our 20s.
Right.
Astounded. We can't believe that you would talk about, someone like this. Yeah, and they're no good son of a bitch. Don't want to see him put in the ground. It couldn't have come soon enough. And then that conversation stops, and we're all don't know if we should laugh or cry
or even speak. I'd be afraid to even talk.
I know. For the most part, we're trying not to laugh because we're not good people either. So one of the old guys in the feed cap turns to the bartender, Linda. She turns around and looks at him and goes, "So what time is your dad's funeral anyway?"
Hey, this could happen to us. Crazy Larry could cack. We could be in a bar somewhere. We could hear this conversation.
No, come on. But we were speechless. We had to leave. We had to leave.
Well, yeah, because I would have lost it. If we would have if there would have been sisters together, we probably would have ended up in jail. We should, if Sky or Jenny or Aaron, any of us would have been there with you, we would have ended up in jail.
Yeah.
Because we would have probably wet our pants and made a huge scene.
We would have fallen right off the bar stool.
Right. And I'm sure we would have fallen off the bar stools because, we can't even behave ourselves at funerals or weddings. So this situation would not have done it for us.
We're not the best at that.
No, we're not the best at any gathering.
But the best part is the bartender just looks at deadpans right back. It's 1:00. And now she's working behind the bar. So I don't know if she's going to dance. No, she never said a word, and she was right there.
They've got their booze and had a good laugh at the liquor store. And now they're back at their cabin planning their next move, which proves to be a lot more adrenaline producing than they were expecting.
And then later in the day, we're going to go out on a motorboat and just do a zoom around the lake, just for funsies. Mm-hmm. And I think we might have had a fishing pole or two with us. We get the motorboat, and it is just your basic motorboat that they rent out to us. I don't know if you're familiar with Lake Vermillion. It's one of those huge, 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 huge Minnesota lake. Okay, massive lake, right?
Yep, huge.
It's a beautiful sunshiny day, so we're on our swimsuits. Maybe we'll take a dip, zipping out onto the lake, boom, bada, boom, bada, boom, and having a great time. And then all of a sudden, it's one of those things when you have a great big huge lake like that, a thunderstorm can come up out of nowhere. And if that happens, it means get the hell off the lake. If you see one looming because
right.
overtake the lake so quickly. And Lori is terrified of being on the water in bad weather. She'll only be out there if it's beautiful and sunny. So we see this coming, and Lori is like, "We got to go." And we're like, "Yeah, we get the hell off the lake." And we've just been kind of drifting along. I think we must have been fishing. So we go to start the motor. No. Go to start the motor again. No. Motor is not going to start for anything.
So you're out adrift on the lake.
We're adrift on Lake Vermillion. We can still see the shore. We're not out in the middle of nowhere. But it's kind of like, oh, well, shit, because this storm now is starting to really move in. And Lori is getting more and more frightened. We're all a little nervous at this point. So it's like, well, shit. And then, we're trying to pretend like, well, we're Minnesotans. We know how to, get a motor going on a boat because we're Minnesotans. We don't know crap. We're a bunch of city kids. We don't know what we're doing. We can't get the motor started. And it's like, okay, well, and now the water is starting to get choppy. And the boat is starting to drift on a lot on its own. It's no longer just tranquilly drifting. We're moving, and the storm is really starting to come in. So we're like, okay, we're going to paddle. We're going to have to paddle in. We're going to have to paddle all the way to shore. Okay, fine. We've got paddles. So I take a paddle, and I think Michael took a paddle. We get them in the water on each side. We can do this. We are Minnesotans, land of 10,000 lakes. We do know how to paddle a boat. Get them in the water, stroke, snap. My paddle
No!
breaks into it, just falls apart.
No way.
It just fell apart. It had been glued together. It was a broken paddle that had been glued. No, it just fucking fell apart. So now we have one paddle. So, we're not going anywhere. And we're drifting not to the shore we want to go to, but towards another shore, which is shallow, rocky, craggy, dangerous. There's a big buoy with words danger on it.
Oh my God.
We're heading right for it.
At least there wasn't a waterfall. And then we were going to go over the dam. Oh God.
We're going to capsize.
It's just one bit of excitement after the other. Now they're adrift on Lake Vermillion, which is huge. And there's a full-on thunderstorm heading their way. Find out what happens after the break. Stay with us. Hey, it's Kim, and thanks so much for listening. And I really hope you're enjoying today's show so far. I'm just popping in to ask you a quick favor, which is to consider helping to support this podcast at Patreon. It's super easy. Just pop over to patreon.com and search for How in the Hell Did I Get Here? Or hit the button on our website at howinthehellpodcast.com. What's in it for you? Well, for one thing, you're helping make a dream come true. And what's better than that? Also, we've got some great perks over there for you, including a chance to get to know myself and my sisters with a special slideshow from our lives, ad-free listening, discounts up to 50% off the merch in our fun store, and free coloring books and more. Check it out today. You can choose to support us for as low as $2 a month. They're in a boat without a working motor or a full set of paddles, and they are literally in danger. Back to our story.
The wind is picking up. It's there's a storm. It's going to hit us any minute now at this point, right? And we're heading right towards this big buoy, which we kept going, we're going to hit the danger buoy. We're going to hit the danger buoy. And somewhere along the line, trying to keep Lori calm and heading directly, pretty quickly now, at the danger buoy, we realized, there's nothing to do now but laugh. And we kind of just lose it.
Right.
And get into the giggles. And we do hit the danger buoy. And we're slammed up against this danger buoy. And we're just stuck there, and we're like, do we hang on to the danger buoy? Do we try to get somewhere else? It's like we can't get anywhere else, and we're in the hysterical laughter, so that we're no good at making decisions anyway. So
right.
We're going to have to ride this out on the danger buoy, and that's what we are trying to do. And then someone from shore must have figured out they should be back in here because this storm is now for real. It's raining on us and stuff, and someone shows up with a boat and tows us back in.
Oh, you were so lucky. You could have perished out there.
It was one of those things where you're kind of laughing, even though you know
that you could die. Yeah. You're laughing because you could die. That's why you're laughing.
Yeah, and
so it's like if you're not laughing, you're going to be crying, and it's you're with people, so you got to keep it together.
And then we get back into shore, and we're soaking wet, and it's raining, and it's howling, and it's thundering, and we get bitched out.
What? By who?
By the people who own the resort, who are in charge of the boats. Like it's all our fault. And then we tell them your goddamn engine won't start.
Right.
And they're like, there's nothing wrong with the engine. Everything's fine with the engine. You kids just don't know what the hell you're doing. You should have never been on the boat in the beginning. Spiel with you before we took the boat out to, about how to do this. We're not complete idiots. And then the guy just goes, all you just start the engine. You just pull and it won't start, of course.
Yes.
And it turns out he starts monkeying around and there's totally a part missing. The thing that's supposed to be there ain't there.
Did you get your lodging for free?
Oh, no.
You needed to call Jenny Vandy Walker.
And we're like, yeah. And what's with your fucking paddles? So how'd you break the paddle? Look at the paddle. I can see where you glued it. You can see the glue. You're trying to
kill us.
Yeah. Again, it's like, being in a Monty Python sketch. It's like, the paddle's broken. Well, no, it's not. Yes, it is.
You can clearly see it is. No, it isn't.
Yeah, I know. And so anyway, we get through that, and these people are just being jerks to us and everything, and we're like, you know what? We're just going back to our cabin, and we're getting drunk.
Good plan. Well, it's been quite a day for our young group of travelers, from a funny trip to town, to a perilous boat ride on Lake Vermillion and a bitching out. So they decide to end this day with some cocktails and relaxing around the fire pit, when even that takes a turn towards crazy. Listen now to the end of Kari's story.
And then we go out in that night in the little circle of cabins that were in that, there's a fire pit, right? So, of course, well, let's go out to the fire pit. And there's these other people at the fire pit, these other two couples that were from either Wisconsin or Michigan. I don't remember. But they were younger and they were cool. And we were all just kind of hanging out and just talking. Not like we were making best friends with them, but they were fine to spend an evening around the campfire drinking with, right?
Right.
And they're smoking the doobie, and and I go, oh, I have some doobie, and we're like, none of us smoke. It's like, we're gonna pass on the doobie. And then they're like, okay, well, that's cool if you don't do that. He goes, but you guys ever do any swapping?
Oh, no! What?
Yes.
Okay, then.
I know. And we're all looking at each other like, okay, there's 3 girls and 1 guy over here, and there's 2 girls and 2 guys over there. And they're like,
this is not good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what every time we come out when we go to these resorts on these trips, like, we always meet some cool people, some great people like you, and then we swap.
Oh, this never happened on any of my up north trips. I don't know if I feel sad or fucking relieved as hell.
We're looking at them like all of a sudden we're really sober, and we're thinking, and plus we can't help it. We're all kind of looking sideways at Michael, our friend Michael, because he's gay. So we're like, we don't even, we're like, just like, this ain't happening, right?
Yeah, how do you, what do you, thank you and no.
Well, yeah, right? Like, what is the proper etiquette?
Here's the proper etiquette in my mind. Hell fucking no. Pass me a beer. Hell fucking no. Thanks so much for listening. First of all, a huge thank you to our newest Patreon subscriber, Cindy Clemens Smith, for her support. You can join her and us at patreon.com. Search for How in the Hell Did I Get Here? So you can check out the maps and photos of Lake Vermillion on our website and the howinthehellpodcast.com or in our Facebook group, and you can see that Kari was not exaggerating. The lake is huge. Quick shout out to our nephew, Nick Floden, for his listening support, and to say that we're all very excited about our new baby Floden showing up soon. If you have a How in the Hell Did I Get Here story to share, call us at 323-488-3303. That's 323-488-3303. Or send a written version to howinthehelldidigethere@gmail.com if you prefer to have your story read on the air. Today's show was produced by Kim A. Floden and features Kari Floden. Big thanks to Silent Partner for our theme song, 7th Floor Tango, and our ad music, Blue Skies. And thank you to our sponsor, The Coloring Book Coach. Find your free coloring book at thecoloringbookcoach.com. Meet you back here next week for more How in the Hell Did I Get Here stories. Until then, pay attention, my friends. You just never know when you might find yourself saying, how in the hell did I get here?
At some point we got the bear warning. There was a bear going through everybody's garbage, so now there's guys running around with rifles telling us don't leave your cabin.
What the hell? You went to Minnesota.
No, we're down near up in the Boundary Waters, so it really, it was like, okay, that's not that big of a deal. They'll find the bear and shoo it off.